Hi, how's it going? Today I'm gonna talk about the comping in the Brazilian choro accent. For pianists will be played by the left hand, and this comping is important that you can use also in samba. Let me show you a little bit. So this is the choro brasileirinho. If you want, I'm gonna play a little more for you. But this is brasileirinho, a famous choro here in Brazil. And the basis of the choro, we have to understand the rhythmic layers. The first rhythmic layer, it's played by the pandeiro, or like some of you call it, it's Brazilian tambourine. This pandeiro plays the subdivision of 16th notes, tak 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 tak, and it has a lower part that plays on the beat pa pum pa pum pak ka pum pak ka tanga ka tanga. This is the basic layer of choro. And the guitar plays the syncopation, or the syncopated cell, tungatka, 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 tungatka. And how we think this in a harmonic instrument. Let me play with two hands. One hand will do the pandeiro lower part, and the right hand is gonna do the harmonic part. So we play in the left hand the root and the fifth of the chord. Note that the fifth is longer, and with the right hand we're gonna do. That the note on the second beat, it's longer than the first beat, but you don't have to worry yourself while you don't recognize if you didn't play the whole harmony. Don't worry yourself with the articulation of the song. Just try to apply in the chords you are playing. This would be applied to a pianist when he or she is playing with another person. But when you are playing alone, I recommend you to use just one hand to do the same. So how can you do? If you have a short hand, alright, what would be a short hand? If you can play tenths in the white notes, you can play larger voicings. But if you a shorthand would do just a ninth, and so if you have a shorthand, just play the chord. Can play, for example, I'm playing G major, the triad, and I'm alternating. Note that I'm creating two rhythmic texture here. One during the bass and one during the syncopation. I went to when you get a chord with 4 notes or more, you just choose the most important notes. For example, in a D7, I'm using the root on the finger number 4, and I'm playing the 3rd and the 7th. So if your hand is larger, you can use the 5th of the chord to alternate between the root and the 5th. If don't, you can just use the root and make the syncopation. So it would sound like that. Sorry, one more time. Alright, if you have a larger hand, I prefer sometimes to do a larger voicing. And to maintain this kind of beat, I add the 6th of the chord. In major chords in choro, you can add the 6th. It will sound inside the language. So I create this pattern. Important thing that you need to do when you are alternating between the root and the 5th, it's always to start the chord with the root. Don't start with the 5th. Even the 5th is higher than the root. For example, in this G, some people do this, and I prefer to have the root sounding first. Alright? So you're gonna apply and study the melody to join it. Let me play one more time. I thought another thing. Always happening. Or if you have a shorter hand, if you have an inverted chord, what is an inverted chord? A chord that doesn't have the bass on the root note. For example, D7 with F sharp on bass. You don't have to change the note of the bass. You don't have to alternate this note with any other note of the chord. For example, D7 with F sharp on bass. You just create this kind of alternation when you are in chords with the root on the bass. And if you wanna do more simple, you can play with the root. That's gonna sound good. Other thing that it's common in choro, it's the presence of the 7th string guitar. This 7th string guitar, it's a kind of bass in the choro. It's a guitar, it's acoustic guitar, but it has one string more, it's lower. So this lower strings of this instrument are used to do some phrases, some answers to the melody when the melody rests. So it's interesting also when you learn how to do the comping, you play all the chords of a song with this kind of pattern. you start to create some phrases with the in the bass. Let me try to show you. So we study this. So I have to create some phrase. Create some fingering to this. And so you create this phrase and how can I say, and develop the ideas of always trying to answer the left hand with the right. I created some strange idea that I have to take a little more time to develop it. Let me see better. This is to go to the B section of the choro. That's why it sounded strange. So you enter that second part. And so this is a new phrase to me, so I have to repeat more and more times to get the fluence to play it like a improvised phrase. But let me try to create simple ones also. So I have to study. Let me try it in this way. So you study and try to join with the right hand. I have to do a little more. Depending on the phrase, everybody is gonna do. I'm gonna show after some phrase of other choros that I've already studied. But let me do this. It's getting better. It's getting better. So you've seen this was the first time I played the phrase right. It's better to play more times, all right? It's not because you've played right one time that it will be okay to play in the song. So play more times. Time. And so when you play it right, return a little bit in the song and try to play with more previous content. I don't know if I was clear, but you have to return a little in the song and play and see if the phrase is correct still. This is the second part, I'm sorry. I'm gonna play one phrase first and after that the phrase we started. It's common, this kind of mistake, because it's when you join more information, your head won't be prepared to do in the first time. So try always to, when you apply some different phrase to the song, try to return and study with more of the song before. Let me do it. Let me review the phrase. So I'm gonna return more. It's better, but not okay. Better, almost there. So insist, alright? This is the way that I nowadays study the choro. But the first important thing that you have to do before is to play all the song, all the chords of the song during this beat, or it can be open. This coordination will help you a lot in playing Brazilian music in general, because this rhythm of syncopation is very common in a lot of different styles, like samba, like forró, and also there are some styles that have some variation of this, like the machixe or frevo. So study this kind of. Alright, this is a very interesting question. When I have 4 chords on a beat, on a bar, alright. When you have 4 chords on the bar, you don't have to worry yourself to do this rhythm. It won't match with this rhythm. So you're gonna play just the chord, or you try to, if you're a pianist, try to open the chord and using two hands, but just play at in the tempo that it's written. All right. So when the harmony, when you have more than two chords per bar, you won't be capable of executing them. So one beat per bar, one chord per bar, it's possible. Two chords, it's possible that you can create. For example, you can change the chord, or for example, no problem. But more than this, like this choro, for example. No, it's not this choro. I won't have possible time to do this chord, so I try to open just on left hand, sometimes play a reduced version of these chords, if you have doubts in reduced versions. But first exercise, play, apply this rhythm to all the chords of the choro you wanna play, alright? So I think is this. We have different kinds of grooves or rhythmic patterns to play choro, but this is the main. I think to start playing choro, this is the easiest one and sounds very good. This is more for more modern choros. You're gonna have some other that we call tango brasileiro or machixe. But I think the beginning of this playing you're gonna use this kind of chords, and after that, if you have ideas, hear a lot of choro players, that you're gonna start to have some ideas in using the resource of the 7-string guitar. Let me show you some examples of the 7-string use that in phrase that I use. So it goes, for example, let me... Note that we have a line on the bass, that is the 7-string guitar, that represents the 7-string guitar. So if you wanna know more, hear more the choros, but first apply this pattern, and so that's it. I think it's that. If you want to know more about details, if you have a song that you are interested that I play here, just send me the name of the song, that I'm gonna start my study. I'm gonna make all the process that I do in these lives, and I can show you in details what I do in this, I would do with a choro song, alright? So I hope I have helped you in your process, and send your questions, send your doubts, and it will be a pleasure to answer you. This channel was created to help you to play Brazilian music with in authentic way, alright, and improvising Brazilian music also, because we have a very rich melodic language also. And that's it. See you for more lives and quick tips about the Brazilian accent improvisations. Obrigado, tchau!